I'm here at A Lady of Perpetual Help Church in Toms River, New Jersey. And the power finally came on. I know I said that I was going to have Mass as soon as the power comes on, but it's already the next day. But I really wanted to share with you yesterday's Gospel and just a few thoughts about it. So reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Mark. Some Sadducees who said there was no resurrection came to Jesus and put this question to him, saying, "Teacher, Moses wrote for us, if someone's brother dies, leaving a wife but no child, his brother must take the wife and raise up descendants for his brother. Now there were 7 brothers. The first married a woman and died, leaving no descendants. So the second brother married her and died, leaving no descendants, and a third likewise. And the 7 left no descendants. Last of all, the woman also died. At the resurrection, when they arise, whose wife will she be? For all 7 have been married to her." Jesus said to them, "Are you not misled because you do not know the Scriptures or the power of God? When they rise from the dead, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are like the angels in heaven. As for the dead being raised, have you not read in the book of Moses, in the passage about the bush, how God told him, 'I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob'? He is not God of the dead, but of the living. You are greatly misled." This is the gospel of the Lord. My brothers and sisters, with all that has been going on since this pandemic emergency began, we've been forced to think about life in a much different way. First of all, the way we interact with one another and live our day-to-day lives has changed drastically. After these past few months, we are even willing to take chances we would never imagine in order to get our lives back to normal. We even call what we're doing now, or what we will have in the future, as the new normal. On top of that, we have civil unrest, serious economic challenges, and many live in clear and present danger. We almost realize that the truth about God always is bigger than our imagination or our categories. God always transcends what we might think and how we behave. The Sadducees committed a big error in yesterday's gospel. They assumed that any resurrection that Jesus is talking about will simply be as life is now, with all the laws and the limitations still present. What we know about the resurrection is that when we rise from the dead, all will be transformed. The promise offers us hope today, the kind of hope that can give us the strength to do all that God asks of us in this life. Yesterday, we celebrated the memorial of St. Charles Luanga and his companions, who were transformed by the love of Christ and the belief in his death and his resurrection. They stood up to a king and sacrificed their lives to protect one another and live virtuously. Their martyrdom was transformed into a witness to the power of God in ways that the corrupt king could never have imagined. Today, we may ask what God is seeking to transform our lives. And do we believe that there is no transformation? Or do we believe, like St. Charles, that we are transformed by our actions? I'm not just speaking about dying and the resurrection. I'm speaking about here and now. Can these dangers, these fears of the coronavirus change our behaviors for the good? Put us in a healthier place, a healthier path, to give us health in body and in mind and in spirit? Can the turmoil in our cities and our nation open our eyes and transform us, make us realize that inequality exists, and that the lives of people of color, the disenfranchised, the marginalized, their lives matter too? It's easy to say that all lives matter. That's a given. But historically, some lives have mattered less in our society. Can we be transformed from our own prejudices and help those who do not have a voice? Or can we continue to hate? There's a saying in psychology, what you don't pass back, you pass forward. Our children deserve to live in a world free from racism and inequality. What are we holding on to that, if we entrust it in God's transformative power, God might return to us something new and unimagined? As we approach the Eucharist or enter into spiritual communion, let us place whatever goodness, whatever brokenness, whatever joy, whatever grief God is asking us to place on this table with the bread and the wine, so that it may also be transformed. And may we hope and promise of the resurrection give us strength to allow God to work in us in ways beyond our own imagination. God is asking, demanding, that we are on the side of the angels, and that you and I transform this world. God bless you. I'll see you at Mass at 5, God willing.